should never smile like that, like, ever. So today I'm going to be doing a smoky eye tutorial, and I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette. It's, I guess, an oldie but a goodie, and it's actually new to me, and I don't know why it took me so long to pick this one up, because I'm in love with this stupid thing, and I've used it, like, a ton. And the only reason I picked it up is because I got a boatload of points at Ulta for buying an Urban Decay palette. It was, like, kind of literally the only one I didn't have, so... Anyway, makes a really good smoky eye palette. So I'm just going to pull this open. I'm not going to use the brush that came with it. Actually, haven't even used it yet. So it's probably totally great, but it's not what I'm using today. So a couple of things. I have done what I don't normally do, and I put just a little bit of concealer on my eyelids, and I powdered that to set it down so it doesn't crease, because I want something good to blend over. And I'm also going to use a primer over that, and I'm going to be using the Painterly paint pot just to carve out my brows. Starting out, got my little paint pot here, realizing that these brows got like ridiculously dark. Since my roots have been darker, I've been enjoying doing a little bit darker brows, and I've been using the Benefit Brow number 6, but it's a little bit dry. Like, I really like the color of this one, but I don't really... The texture's a little dry, I think. So I've been using the Inglot Duraline just to, I guess, make it a little, thinner. And I realized that because of the dry texture, it was like scumming up and like ruining my Anastasia brush. So I've been doing this one with my Essence Precise Eyeliner brush, which is literally a $2 brush. There we go. You can see it's got a nice sharp tip on it. It's still a little fuzzy, like it's not a super awesome brush, but it's doing okay. But that's what I've been using, and so that's what's so dark. I normally let it sit overnight, so it's a little damp, but I was impatient, so I just did it all at once. And so, hence, super brows here. Whatever. Don't care. I like dark brows. Don't like them, don't do them. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit, because, I'll use that. Yeah, I need to trim and clean up these brows. OMG. Whatever. Not doing that. Today is not a brow tutorial. Sorry. So you're getting fuzzy brows. These are the brushes that I'm going to be using for this look today. So if you want to go ahead and get them like together or something along these lines. Yeah, this is like an e.l.f. $3 blending brush. Totally just a fluffy brush, doesn't matter, don't care, just something that you can blend with. I've got my Lamora tapered blending brush. I like to use this one for crease and sometimes a little bit under eye. But again, just a fluffy blending brush, but this one has a little bit more taper to it, so a little more precision. Then I also am using the Essence Smoky Eyes brush, which you would think you could use by itself, but you cannot. You need a little bit more stuff with it, but you can see I already got some black in it from what I've been doing here. That mirror thing is driving me nuts. There we go. Anyway, yeah, that one's pretty good as well. You're going to want something for your inner corners, so I have my Lamora detailed pencil brush. Lamora detailed pencil brush here. Ignore these nails, they're awful, and I'm on my way to go get them filled, so, like, yeah, sorry. This one's even, like, broken, because life. And anyway, and just a little flat, dense brush to smudge right in that lash line, so. This one's one of the U Spicy's, super cheap. I think I paid, like, $10 for a whole set of, like, 20 brushes for those on Amazon, so. I'll try to link all of these down below because they're all good, cheap brushes. Yeah, so I'm going to be using the Naked 2 palette. I'm using Foxy. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of that on the fluffy brush. And just use that to set what I just put in here. Because I don't want, one random stark line here. I don't want this to blend as I go up, so I'm going to use an eyeshadow primer, but I'm going to put it just like on my lid itself. And it doesn't really matter which one you use. Let's see, I'm going to use a Smashbox 24-hour photo finish, mostly because I'm just trying to get rid of some stuff here. I'm just going to smudge that down here on my lid. Now, if you have a darker skin color, you probably want to do something like this with a little bit of a lighter primer, just to kind of give you a more even base underneath your colors, but I'm translucent, so that's... So the other thing that you're going to need is some kind of a gel pencil. This is the one I'm using because I have it, but literally any kind of, like, you know, crappy gel pencil will work. These are awful for cat eyes, but they're great for smoky eyes. So starting this, I'm going to go ahead and do my waterline, and I'm going to do my top lash line and just smudge that like as close as I can get down into my lashes. It doesn't have to be super neat. Doesn't matter because you're going to put a bunch of stuff over it anyway. So just don't go quite too far in because you'll get it, if you get it on the interior of the corner, or at least for me, my eyes water and it just like, you get like smudge all day and it looks like crap. So don't do that. Like that right there. I just got too far in and it's going to get all smudgy. Smudged. Now, if you want to take a smudger and smudge it at this point, you can. You don't really have to. Little crappy smudger if you want to go in and just smudge it out. Again, so like I said, it doesn't have to be too precise. Just jam all that down in there. Cool, we got some raccoon going on now. Whatevs. I'm having a day. I'm always having a day. Story of my life. Alright, so I'm going to go into a combination of blackout and busted these last two. There we go. Blackout and busted these last two over here, the darkest two in the palette. And I'm just going to dip into blackout and then go into busted to kind of like calm it down a little bit on my flat brush, and I'm going to smudge that in there. So basically with a smoky eye, you want to build from the bottom out, and you want to go from the dark colors into the lighter colors. You want to be very careful, and the reason I have a lot of brushes that you see I'm using, you don't want to drag that dark color too far out, because then you really do end up with a raccoon eye, and that's... Some people can pull that off. I can't, so... I'm just going to take that flat brush there. All my black on my fingers here. Just smudge that in there. One thing to note when you're doing a smoky eye, notice that I can like flick that off of there, even though I'm going to have fallout. You're probably going to have fallout. If you do your foundation first like I did, make sure that you put a boatload of powder under your eyes. And if you can't powder under your eyes without it creasing or looking crappy or whatever, you're going to want to do your foundation kind of second and then just go back in underneath gently after you do all that. Because otherwise, I mean, you're going to have fallout. So, just saying. Stark colors. Kind of comes with the territory. But I'm just going to use that to kind of cover, set all that eyeliner that I just did. Which is why I said you don't really have to smudge it, because you can kind of smudge it at this stage too. The nice thing about smoky eye looks, besides looking dramatic and awesome, is they're not terribly precise. So if you're in a hurry to get the heck out the door and make it, you know, look good and all that stuff, they're a good get out the door look. Obviously, I'm going to be taking my time more than I would if I was, you know, completely running out the door, but the same. And I've got plenty of black under my eyes, so I'm going in just into the busted, the lighter of the two colors for underneath here. I'm just going to smudge that as close as I can to my lower lash line because I don't want this to go too far down. Just want something to give that drama under there. And you can do a smoky eye with browns, you can do it with blacks. If you're creative, you can do it with like different colors. So it's a pretty forgiving overall pattern. Just use that to pull that up a little bit because I always look better with some form of a wing, so I like to just do it with the eyeshadow itself whenever I'm doing a smoky eye. So now I'm going to take that Essence Smoky Eyes brush and dunk into Busted, but notice now that it is a fluffier brush. It's the same color. And I'm going to tap that off because I don't want to get too much. And I'm going to start at this outer corner. I'm just going to start smoking that out. Building that. And I don't want to get too far in because I don't want this to be, you know, raccoon eyes. I don't want to make my eyes look too close together or too closed in. Just a little bit. I still like to do a bit of a crease when I do a smoky eye, even though technically really your focus is right around the eye. I still feel like it looks better to give some depth to the crease itself. So I'm taking my tapered blending brush and I'm going to go into, I like Pistol. We're going to do that one. I'm going to go into the shade Pistol. If I need to darken it back up, I can always jump back into a little bit of Busted to gray that back out a little bit. You can tell this isn't like a super amazing brush either. It's, you know, got some little flyaways and such, but it doesn't really matter for a smoky eye. So I'm going to start where I was on that outer corner there. I'm going to do that outer third. Just bring that up in there. Without getting more product, unless I really have to, I'm just going to blend that in the crease and start bringing that in. And now I'm going to take that same brush. I dusted it all out. It doesn't really have much product on it. I apologize. I keep looking over here because this is my confidence monitoring to figure out how to set everything like up, down, something. I don't know. Something to where it is all in line. It's not. Anyway. But I really like this shade IDK, UDK, whatever. This shade here. So I'm going to go into that shade. I'm going to put that on my lid. And just use that to blend this up. And just, you know, not too much on the brush. And we're going to take our fluffy brush that we started out with. We're going to go into the shade called Tease. And you can definitely do this with fewer different shades of shadow. You can do this with just like 3 colors if you have it. And just blend them to get, you know, lighter colors. But I don't know. I have them in front of me, so I'm using them. If you don't, you can totally make this work otherwise. But anyway, so fluffy brush into Tease there. And I'm just going to use that to blend the crease upward. Clean all that out to the best of my ability. I'm going to grab the brush I did my crease with, a little more tapered. I'm going to take that same shade Tease, and I'm going to use it just to smoke this out under here a little bit. Just a very little bit. Notice all the extra dark colors that I skipped on the bottom because I don't want this to go like down my face. I'll take just a little bit of that. I'm going to use that just sparingly, just to blend that out just a little bit more. Okay, we're just about done, but I need some highlight, so I'm going to use Booty Call, which is the lightest in the palette. Basically a white. You can also use just like your highlight. I may actually go back in and hit that up a little bit too. But I'm going to use my fluffy brush here that I cleaned out. Grab a bit of that. And I'm going to do just under my brow bone here for that highlight. I'm going to just do my lips with a nice nude. Enough. That's a little bit cooler of a color. I'll go in with that. That's the Tarte's Lip Paint. It's that color. Some highlight. Because no look is complete without like shit tons of glitter. At least in my room. Finish this one off with some mascara. Today I'm using Monsieur Big by Lancome, just a little guy. Alrighty. So this is the completed look for my smoky eye using my Urban Decay Naked 2. Keep in mind you can do this with like so many different colors and so many different styles. It's really more about the technique than anything. But I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it helped you out. If you did, make sure to give it a like, post me some pictures of your smoky eye looks, and I'll see you in my next video.